Mackenzie here. At the end of this video, you're going to know the 20 biggest signs that you're a people pleaser, so you can finally recognize them and break free. Why does this matter? Because when it comes to all things mental health, the reason why we have therapists is because when we're operating day to day as a people pleaser, we might even feel like a confident person who's setting boundaries, who's sharing their opinions, saying no, taking care of ourselves, only to later realize that we are burnt out, that we said yes when we meant to say no, that we set a boundary but then someone pushed through the boundary and we didn't hold our ground. It is knowing and studying these signs that help us to really understand our people-pleasing tendencies and even identify and know if we are a people pleaser or not. Because if you don't study these signs and know them really well, you could end up being stuck in a cycle where people control your time, your life, and your peace of mind. I'm not a therapist, but I've been through this myself. I was a chronic people pleaser for years, and I've studied this topic in depth. Every scientific article, every nook and cranny and crevice, I've studied this for over 10 years. I know the cost of people pleasing and how painful it was and how it cost me my confidence, my health, my life, my peace. I'm making this video to help you spot the signs and reclaim your power as fast as possible and move on with your life, move on with creating an amazing future for yourself. Alright, so let's jump in with sign number 1. You rarely feel peace about yourself. In a lot of your free time, you're feeling like you should have said something different when you were with people. You feel like you should have done something different. You feel like your habits for yourself aren't quite right. Whether you're with people or you're alone, you hardly feel you're a piece of being yourself and with who you are. And this voice that's telling us that we should have done something different, done it better, said something better, this is what's really driving the people pleasing. This is why, even if we know who we really are, we can't be who we really are as a people pleaser because that voice is just so strong, and we need to reduce the voice. That way, the voice of who we are can be living, can exist. Number 2, you're more aware of others' needs than your own. For example, you host a dinner party and you forget to eat because you were so busy with taking care of everyone else. Sign number 3, you feel like the best decision in the moment is to sacrifice your needs for those of others. You feel like you're willing to get up at 3 a.m. to drive a friend to the airport and forget that you have an exam that next morning that you're going to fail if you don't get any sleep or do worse on, and you don't think that through until maybe weeks after the exam and you realize all the way back to that decision you made, you had been putting others before you. You say things that don't reflect who you really are. You might laugh at a joke that you don't really think is funny. Number 5, people see the people pleasing in you and they tell you that you should be more confident for who you are, for all that you have to be proud of. You'll find kind people will say this to you. When you heal, you should find that people tell you that you are so confident, and they'll ask you, how are you so confident, and be amazed by your confidence. So that can be a sign of healing. Sign number 6, you're so worried about today that you rarely take any time to plan for your future. You're not thinking about the job, the house, the life you want to have in 10 years, hardly ever. It's not like we need to all spend all of our time doing that, but we need to have a sort of confidence and planning for the future that's really important for a good life. But a people pleaser is so focused on all of the thoughts about what they've done wrong in the recent days that they don't have any space to think and plan for their exciting and hopeful future. Sign number 7, you feel uneasy going for goals that others may not approve of. You feel anxious about being sober because of what someone around you says about what that means. You feel anxious about your gym goals because of what others think. Sign 8, you set boundaries, but you don't enforce them. I find that so many more people that are people pleasers actually do feel confident and set boundaries, and that it's a complete misconception that they don't. It's just that they set the boundary and then let people trample over them, or they feel confident inside. They feel like, oh, I am confident. But when it comes to doing confident things, they just let themselves again be trampled by other people. Sign number 9 is that you've had a narcissist involved in your life. And now everyone has encountered a narcissist and had trouble with a narcissist. But if you're a people pleaser, there has been a time in your life where you've let a narcissist infiltrate into your life so far to be involved in your life so much that they have such a stronghold, and you have a really hard time getting out of a situation like that. Someone who's not a people pleaser will not let the narcissist into their life that far and not have as much of a hard time getting out of their life. Sign number 10 is you work harder to impress others than to be happy yourself. You might spend 2 hours putting on your makeup to go somewhere to look good for everyone else, go through this whole event, get home only to realize you didn't enjoy the event at all yourself. You didn't take any time to enjoy it yourself. You have a hard time finding a balance between taking care of yourself, presenting yourself well, and also creating time for your own happiness. Sign number 11, you feel awful after you set a boundary. You feel like you were mean, you feel like you regret it, you feel like it was a terrible decision, you are an awful person, even though it was a completely reasonable boundary to set. You might have even set a boundary with an abusive person to you, and yet you feel terrible for setting it. Sign number 12, you might feel like you're a confident person, but then criticism completely destroys your confidence. When you're criticized or someone bullies you a little bit, you completely fall over. Sign number 13, you don't have an authentic communication style. You feel like you need to say everything like everyone else and be really similar to examples you see, but you're not really expressing your authentic self in the unique way that is from you and who you are when you communicate with other people. You can notice this especially when you meet new people and they seem just like a cookie cutter person. It's a sign that they're a people pleaser and they're just taking all of these pieces from other people and forming them together to form themselves, but really there's no authenticity about it. Sign number 14 that people pleasers have is they struggle with decision making. Where a healthy person would say, what do I want to wear to this event? And how can I make that in a version that suits the event? And what type of attire is welcomed at that event? The people pleaser will say, what should I wear that suits the type of event, and completely not include any sort of personal, authentic touch to the outfit. They feel a lot of pressure and stress to get their outfit right, or else they will be bad. Sign number 15, you tolerate abuse because you fear for survival more than you are willing to stand up for your needs and being treated like a decent human. Sign number 16, you avoid certain places to avoid certain people. You don't want to see that friend and they go to a certain coffee shop, so you avoid that coffee shop. Even though, who's to say that you have to avoid it, and you could just go there and be confident and enjoy your coffee, but you put their needs above yours. They can go enjoy that coffee, but you can't. Or you avoid a certain restaurant an ex-boyfriend goes to, or you avoid going to the water cooler to avoid someone at work. Sign number 17 that you're a people pleaser is you don't prioritize self-care or creativity. You often go through life going through the motions, trying to do your laundry, be the best at your job, be the best mom, be the best family member, but not really prioritizing that spark of creativity in your life, keeping that fire alive. So you end up on a roller coaster of creativity, then you stop the creativity and you start to burn out, and then you bring your creative hobbies back into your life or your spirituality, and then you forget about them and you burn out. You're not just consistently living a creative life that is balanced and where you feel energized and consistent. Sign number 18 is that you neglect needs that are unique to who you really are. So if you're a highly sensitive person, you will tolerate being in large groups of people for a long time, even though it is a very high need for you to only be in large groups of people for a short amount of time. Sign number 19, you're quick to take responsibility for things. If your neighbor gets sick, you take responsibility immediately for bringing them a freshly cooked meal, instead of figuring out who around you has more time than you and can bring them that meal tonight, and maybe in 3 nights when you're more free, you can bring them a meal. You take responsibility and feel so much pressure to just do it right away, no matter what's going on in your life. And the last one, and I think the best one, is that you feel confident in the moment, but later regret what you did and realize that it was people pleasing. So you're in a conversation with someone and you are laughing at their jokes and you realize that you were just laughing at them, but you didn't actually find that joke funny at all. You found it kind of offensive. Or a subject was brought up that you care deeply about, but you went along with their opinion, which was to downplay that, or to talk about something taboo like finances when you don't think it is appropriate to talk about finances with people who you don't really know. The good thing about all these 20 signs is that we can change them with habit change and therapy, and with neuroplasticity and neuroscience. We can change our brain to no longer be a people pleaser, to live a more confident life where we are empowered, we are living in our authenticity, we are knowing who we are and making confident choices and enjoying our life, being happier. Please like if you like this video and subscribe if you want to see more like it. And I would love to know, what of any of these signs have you seen in yourself, or what is a sign that has come up for you that has shown you that you have people pleaser tendencies, or what's a sign that you have healed from people pleasing? I'd love to know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.